One of the most important things to have emerged during the coronavirus epidemic is the focus on mental health by everyone in society, not only mental health professionals, from governments to media, teachers, rabbis, medical doctors. Everyone's really recognized that not only have mental health challenges been important to address all the time, especially during these times, mental health issues have become particularly central to the pressures people feel as a result of the pandemic. I want to focus for a couple minutes on one aspect that I think has received a lot of focus up until now, and I also think is important to keep an eye on and keep focus on, not only for ourselves, but for our family members and our community. One of the things that was spoken about a lot, especially over Pesach, and especially in America when they had a 3-day Yom Tov, was an awareness that a lot of people feeling isolated may be at risk for more severe forms of mental distress. They may be at risk for self-harm. And that was something that communities, whether it be community leaders, mental health professionals, rabbis, a lot of people were focused on and were offering themselves to be available to those in their communities. And there was really, I think, a very valuable and important focus on these issues. One of the things that I see may be potentially a challenge is that as things open up, people start going back to work, but not everyone. There's some people who may not have work to go back to. People may not be comfortable or be able to resume some of those friendships. Shuls are still not quite opening, and people who are living by themselves are not necessarily being connected. There was the study that came out last week, a couple of weeks ago, about the people in Israel feeling a sense of belongingness. I think that happened over the course of the coronavirus pandemic, and it was really important for people getting through this crisis. But what happens when that sense of belongingness starts to fade? What happens when some people seem to be moving forward and others seem to be kind of stuck in this isolation, whether it's older adults or people with pre-existing conditions, or it's people who are just not, because of the economy or other sorts of challenges, are not able to reintegrate into regular life in the way that they would hope. So what do we do about this? I think that it's important for all of us, whether it's about ourselves or our family members, our community members, to remain vigilant to seeing if there are some changes in people, if people seem to be in a state of despair, if people are particularly upset, and if they are, to reach out to them. If this sounds like something that applies to you, that you yourself to reach out to other people, and to be aware that sometimes reaching out to a professional, a mental health professional, can also be important. Knowing where to reach out, what the phone numbers are, and knowing that there are people out there that can be helpful to you or your family member or community member remains important during this time. Even if it feels like the acute crisis is lifting, there still is a need to remain vigilant and paying attention to our own needs and the needs of people around us to make sure that we're all staying safe, both physically and mentally. Wishing you all a healthy transition into what hopefully is becoming a little bit of a more normal life.